And I think we're good.
Holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, this is your doula Hannah, and you're listening to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where we talk about making babies, birthing babies, and trying not to lose our minds raising them. I'm joined by my ADHD only child husband who has never cracked a parenting book, Justin.
Hello. Did you say the part about where you're like a trained birthing doula and yada, yada, yada?
No, I cut that out. It just felt like a lot.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to change things up.
That's fine. Cool. So, I don't know what we have to talk about today. I do know you mentioned we're doing a little bit of a different format.
Yes.
So why don't you fill me and anybody else listening in?
So instead of trying to pick our theme and only stick to that ahead of time, I figured we've got a couple of talking points I picked out, and we can kind of go wherever we want from there.
Were we supposed to have been doing that last thing? Because
I mean, yeah,
I've been talking about whatever.
Right. That's why I switched things up on my end. Changing expectations. So I grabbed two things from Reddit. I figured we'd cover one of the first half, the other second half. First one is someone seeking advice, which we love to give.
We do, solicited or otherwise.
Right. Are two kids easier than one? I need brutally honest answers from parents with more than one child. No sugarcoating. I'm overwhelmed and trying to figure out what I can actually handle. Is having two harder than one in ways people don't talk about? Do you ever regret it? What breaks you day to day with two, and what was hard with one? Knowing what you know now, would you still choose to have two kids?
This is a good one.
Yeah.
Man, what orders should I go in? Let me start. Start butt first. No matter what I say, the answer will always be, I am so glad we had two. I'm so glad that we were lucky enough to have them when we did.
Yeah.
In our life and in relation to each other. So no matter what anything else sounds like I'm maybe saying or jokes I may make, in all seriousness, I would not change anything about our situation as far as the kids, their ages, and having them both. Wouldn't change for the world.
Yeah, no regrets.
That being said, hop back up and read some of that again because I know we've got stuff to say about it. So let's go piece by piece.
Okay.
So they had a list. What was the list?
Yeah. Is having two harder than one in ways people don't talk about?
I think a lot of that depends on the age gap.
Yeah.
So we can obviously only speak to our experience, which is a pretty close age gap. And we are still, I think, in the midst of what people would call the thick of it.
Yeah.
Because we've got a 2.5-year-old and somebody about to turn one. So we can speak to that. And I would say, oh, man. Yes, it's obviously harder in a lot of ways that people don't talk about. But I think if you're on Reddit and you're spending any time on a parenting Reddit, the answer to that question is no. Because
everybody talks about everything.
Fucking talking about it. But let's see. I think one of the hardest things, at least for me as an only child, is ensuring that everybody is feeling or at least seems like they are feeling like they're getting individual direct attention.
Yeah.
Because that was very important to me as an only child and something I got. And it's in my mind, I feel like there were a lot of advantages that came with being an only child. And disadvantages, but people usually only see and talk about the advantages, which I get. Because nobody's it was lonely. Nobody cares. So there were advantages there that I am doing everything in my power to ensure our kids still have.
Yeah.
even though there's the two of them, because to me that's not fair. Like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I got to experience it, so I want to do everything to make sure they can too. And they didn't ask to have a sibling. I hope to whatever that they're thankful
Right.
that they have them, but you know they didn't ask for it, so they shouldn't have to like quote pay for that.
Well, yeah, and as someone who like has a sibling, loves my sister, but still was the sibling of a high needs, special needs child, it's really hard not feeling like a priority when you're growing up. So I feel like, yeah, we're both really focusing on both of them getting attention, both of them like making sure that they understand that they're equally important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that I think is hard because obviously when there's one,
Yeah, it's
What
all
can you do,
there.
kid?
Yeah.
And we're still just getting into a lot of it with like having to split interests because right now our son's pretty lucky because he's pretty much in control of like child entertainment time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because our daughter's not necessarily at a point where she's at a decision making or able to clearly vocalize.
Right.
So she's, you know, still along for the ride point, but that's coming soon. So that'll be another episode in the
Yeah.
future of us trying to deal with that. So, I mean, that, man, it's just, yeah, I mean, like split bedtimes, like nap times are split, even if they're super close, like there's gonna be a while. There's this sense of like, oh, we just got to stop doing that. Now we're doing it again. And it's really hard sometimes to not make that second child, like, again, pay
Right.
for that. Like, oh, I thought we were just done with this. Now we're back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's not her fault. It's us. We're the ones who had the kids, but it's still like, okay, we
Exactly.
just crossed this really exhausting bridge,
Milestone. Yeah.
and now we're back at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very much, it feels like playing a video game with no save point and a really hard boss. Like, I thought I just beat this, but then I died. Now I'm all the way back, and I got to go through this all over again.
Yeah, and like for some context, our kids are 16 months apart.
Make sure your phone's turned down.
Yeah. For some reason, the camera keeps doing weird lighting things.
All right, so what do you think? Like, what are some ways? Because again, I've talked so much in our personal life about how I hate editing these podcasts because I'm just like, Justin, shut up. And then you always just tee me up for stuff and just like, don't interrupt me. Please interrupt me.
I think what you say is important.
Everybody else listening, they're like, interrupt him.
No, I just like I super back what you said about like equal importance, equal attention. Like we're getting to a point that very soon I would really like both of them to be able to go with your parents instead of just our son on a regular basis because our daughter is like starting to get really upset about that.
But I kind of do like when we do have her alone because again that makes it a lot easier to give direct one-on-one attention that I know our son got, which I kind of attribute a lot of his development to. So I really want to give that to her also. So it's like, it's good.
It's hard, yeah.
And it's bad.
That
but
balance.
It's kind of like that, which this is going to have to be an episode, leads to that, like, yeah, you want to do your best to listen to your kids, but you got to know the time and the place of when it's like, I know you want that, but I'm sorry. I know what's best for you.
Right.
And I know that upsets you, but it is what it is.
I think my standpoint on that comes from being the kid that got to go do more with a specific set of grandparents and like feeling kind of like a guilt about that, like knowing I was the one that went with them on vacations and I was the one that went to their house the most and like got to do more.
Well, that's a bit of a different situation because again, you're a sibling of a higher needs
Right.
child. So that's a little different because, again, it's not just taking two, it's taking two and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of the additional things that come with a higher needs child. So
Yeah.
I understand it doesn't play a role in how you feel or your past guilt.
Yeah, like I get why it
But it's
happened. But like I know that like what that separation can feel like. And I do want the kids to also like be stoked to hang out with each other while doing stuff, not like I get to go do this, you have to stay home kind of situation. Like I don't want to reach that point.
Well, okay. I understand. But again, they're different ages, so there's going to be, okay, well, one is going to either like school and one's not yet, or one is
Right.
going to this school and one's not potentially. So it's like, yeah, I get that, but again, we can only do so much.
Right.
So, yeah. What else? Other things that were harder, like, what do you think?
The nap schedules have been really hard for me.
That's probably one people don't talk about.
Yeah. Occasionally our daughter is in sync with the one nap a day at the same time as our son, but not regularly yet, I would say. And so like I went from being up at night with our son, but it was okay because I could take a nap with him during the day, to being up at night with the kids, and then our daughter would go down for a nap, and then as she was waking up, our son would go down for a nap, and then as he was waking up, our daughter would go down for her nap, and it was just like, fuck. Like, that's exhausting.
Yeah. Again, that's probably the one that people aren't chatting the most about.
Yeah, because obviously the younger the baby, the more sleep needs they have. And our son was, I think, at or pretty close to his one nap a day schedule by the time our daughter was born.
I think it had just happened.
Yeah. So that's really hard. And like trying to coordinate that, especially if you're the only parent at home and trying to get one to sleep while the other is waking up. If there's no overlap, like you're praying for that overlap, but it definitely doesn't happen often enough. So like trying to entertain a baby while getting a toddler to fall asleep is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, that particular aspect.
Yeah.
Of trying to, when you're alone, be either different sources of entertainment or having to be like an entertainer and a disciplinarian.
Right.
Or an entertainer and get you down for a nap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the disciplinarian, like, hey, and then hey, oh,
Yeah,
that's maybe
that's
one
a
that
hard
people aren't
shift.
chatting the most about, maybe. I don't know. Again, I don't spend a whole lot of time on parent internet. But, yeah, that can be tough to not, again, like, take it out on or make one, like, kind of pay for what's going on with the other, because no matter what you, like, do or say or mindset you take in to a situation or a scenario, at the end of the day, like, you're still human.
Right.
So, like, you still react to things, whether it's how you want to or not, and then sometimes you can catch yourself, and sometimes you can't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
sometimes you can turn back around and be in a great mood all of a sudden, and sometimes you can't, and it's super important at certain ages because, you know, that face or energy or tone or vibe you're bringing to the one child could be their main communication source
Yeah.
at the time. So that is like a super
hard.
Yeah. Especially because, like, I feel like, especially like kind of millennials and maybe younger, like us and younger, we do wear a lot of our expressions and feelings on our face because, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, it's like, well, if you're, you know, causing a situation that's making me feel a way, you should know about it in some way, or I should be allowed to express it and get it out because you have that right to do so. Everybody does.
Or if you're me and you just don't know how to turn your face off.
Well, yeah, but again, it's like you have that right to do that,
Yeah.
because, again, somebody's doing something to inflict the situation that's making you feel away. They should know about it. And again, a lot of us are still kind of maybe raised at the ass end of that, like kids are seen and not heard mindset of parents. So a lot of us aren't maybe super eager to speak up. So we found other ways to do it.
Yeah.
So again, it's very important that we focus and reel that in because again, for a very long period of time, that's like the main way we're communicating.
Yeah, with your baby.
With our kids. Or even still, when your kids are talking, they can see your face.
Oh my God,
they read
and
your
they
facial
notice
features.
so
They know exactly
much.
because, to be frank, they've got nothing else going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we've got the world we think going on. But to a kid, like we are the world.
I was gonna say you are the filter for that world.
Yeah,
so even when they're paying attention to other things, they're looking to you for your reaction to base their own reaction off of.
And like, I don't know if that ever stops.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or if it should, because again, I think as parents, we should be striving to guide our kids through every like facet and aspect of life that we can.
Yeah.
Because like, hopefully they're going to live through every single year we do. You know what I mean? So don't we want to try to show them that, like how to do stuff even after they can start to do stuff on their own?
Right. Yeah. Just
I don't know where
always be an example. I think another really hard thing with two, especially close in age, is when they both really need you at the same time. That can get like very overwhelming and overstimulating really fast. Like, baby spits up, toddler wants milk, baby poops, toddler's still crying about milk, and it's like, okay, which one of these cries and screams do I take care of first?
Yeah.
One piece of advice our pediatrician gave me:
always take care of the one that might cause a rash.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh, well, that's good advice. Take that to the bank.
It was always respond to your toddler first because they're the one who is going to remember your response.
See, that's what I would think, but that sounds too common sense.
Right.
And too, like, asshole.
Right. And that's when I first heard it, like, caught me off guard. But then I was like,
excuse me, did you just say fuck my baby?
Right.
Like, fuck you.
But then it makes sense because, like, okay, my toddler's going to hit that age first of, I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember not being the priority, and your baby's not there yet. And so you have time to kind of shift that as they age. But yeah, when it comes to small baby and toddler, pediatrician, who I adore, our pediatrician, said always respond to your toddler first.
It just like kickstarted a new anxiety for me of like, when
do we shift?
Well, yeah, that was what I was doing. If we post the video, people will see that, but otherwise, thank you. When do they start remembering?
Yeah.
And making sure, like, we remember that they probably remember now.
Right.
So it's like stuff was important before, but now
it's
important.
Really important.
Like, yeah. Because if you think about it, like, I know people like make jokes about like, oh, core memory, whatever. But no, if you think about it, like your core memories are made. I mean, for me, 3 to 10.
I was gonna say, yeah, the research shows that like memories start probably as early as 3, on average 4.
Oh, I have like trauma memories before that.
Yeah.
Or like maybe not memories, but like shadows of memories that like I have the responses to those memories still. Like getting the shots in my heels when I was like fucking newborn.
Yeah.
And I hated my feet getting touched for the longest time as a kid. So like things like that.
Right.
And then like, and then that was like it was funny, like hearing the story of how like when I was little getting shots, because my parents would just tell me about when they brought me home and had to be in a
Yeah.
tanning bed because I was jaundiced and had to get shots in my heels and whatnot. And it just like not even like just knowing that was why I don't like my feet to get. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was almost just being reminded. It's
Well,
so fucking weird.
And because you don't, like, something kind of cool that I've learned through doing trauma therapy is you don't have to remember something for it to have, like, ingrained a response in your brain. So that's why people will
Mhm.
be, like, triggered by things that they don't fully understand because they may not remember what the initial trigger was, but
Yeah.
that implanted something in their brain and remapped how their brain responds to those things.
And it's typically probably for a good reason.
Right.
We can just hop
Trying
to
to
the
think.
next thing.
Yeah, so the next one was
Our kids are gonna probably not get out of the bed, so I don't know if you have to keep watching them on the camera.
well, the sound keeps cutting off, so I just want to like know if they cry. What breaks you day to day with two, and what
Nothing.
was hard with just one?
I will say nothing recently since I've gotten as far as I have into my neurofeedback.
Yeah,
therapy. I feel like I've crossed a bridge in the last like couple weeks that a lot of stuff has just become easier to just calmly communicate or just deal with or whatever. What breaks? I mean, like again, I think a lot of it we've already touched on, but to further it, a lot of sometimes the crying can feel endless
yeah,
because like one will be upset and then that can kickstart another and then you rectify the one situation, but the other one is still upset. And then if that doesn't get rectified soon enough, then it can like restart. So you know what I mean? So that, and then I don't know if it breaks you, and I hope it doesn't break people, but just having to feel a little more on, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And like not necessarily getting that time until
there's
they're
no
in bed.
just sitting down and resting.
Yeah. Because like again, when you've got one, like you can get them entertaining themselves or whatever, and maybe like have a minute, like make a coffee, get some food, whatever.
or like tag team it with your partner.
Yeah. But with two, even if you're doing good and two people are there or whatever, and like you get them settled and somebody's watching them, somebody else is doing chores and whatnot, there's like very rarely are they settled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're a lot more likely to get worked up because there's just somebody else there, and they're not necessarily maybe always wanting them there, but they maybe can't express that yet or don't have a choice.
Right.
Because it's like, well, guys, this is our living room
Yeah.
where we are, so it's our stuff, so we all have to be here. But it's like, again, they don't necessarily understand, like, oh, like, I don't need to go over there and bug that person just because they're here.
Yeah.
If you're our daughter.
Right, yeah.
Or
she's at that
I can
phase
just
of...
get up and walk away if you're our son. You know what I mean? They don't necessarily get that. So that can be tough.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, ugh.
And I see it with our son, too, of, like, wanting to be, like, the sole point of focus for a minute and just not wanting her there for that minute. Like the other day when you were holding our daughter and he was like, Daddy, pick you up. Now put sister down.
I was going to say, he's good, and I appreciate his ability and eagerness to express it.
Yes.
With words. So I always try to reward that.
Yeah.
If I can.
Right.
There are some times, where it's like, sorry, buddy, you got to wait a second, or, whatever.
Yeah.
But if he clearly expresses something, even if it's like, well, that's dumb. Like whatever, you know what I mean? But if he clearly expresses it, I do my best. I'm sorry, there's like a little thing under my pant leg right here. And it's bugging me. shit out of me. It's not like a nervous thing. It's just like, oh fuck, I thought it would go away.
It's there.
Yeah.
Just reach in there and get it.
No, I'm not gonna. Me.
Oh.
What was I saying? About it was something good.
He clearly expresses himself, and you try
it wasn't
to.
that good. Yeah, I just try to reward it,
Yeah.
even if it's silly, because I want him to keep wanting to use his words
Yeah.
because he can, because that was kind of one thing that, especially before the neurofeedback, one of the things that really got my brain was like so it's like I was always very much like, use your words. So now that he can and does, I try to reward that as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I also try to let our daughter see that as she's learning to talk. So hopefully she will be encouraged to also use her words, not only now with us, but as they age and into foreverhood of just
vocalize your feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel this way. I'm going to say it. Can we do something about it? Yes. Great. No. Oh, okay.
Okay. I've learned other ways to deal with it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, no. It's like, yeah, this is a situation I need to stay in or be in.
Yeah.
Can I remove myself? Could I? Should I? Whatever. Yeah. So, whatever. That's just how when I don't know what we're talked about or what we're saying. I'm just like,
all right, I'll take my turn. I think the only thing that comes close to quote unquote breaking me is.
Should we say quote unquote? Is that tacky? I don't know if that's podcast etiquette because I hear a lot of people not do it specifically. I don't know. Sorry, fuck me. You have ADHD.
Yeah. Who does? What's in your pants again? You got a fuzzy? You got a fuzzy? I'm gonna keep drawing attention to it.
I'm gonna clip that, and that's gonna be the ad. What's in your pants?
I'm just trying to use your ADHD against you.
Watch the episode.
Weaponize mental illness.
That's gonna be in it too.
I have a really hard time with the staggered wake-ups at night if they go on for too long. They don't happen every night, which is great, but there are some nights that it's like, okay, our daughter...
I don't want to say this, but full transparency, the three of you guys sleep together, and for right now, I sleep alone because I don't deal well with getting woken up in the middle of the night. So we kind of just found that it's just better, firstly, for their mental health, and then my relationship with them, for me to not be there. And that sounds like a cop-out, but I am doing literal brain-altering therapy to address this. So,
well, and we've talked plenty of times about figure out what works for you and your family, and that's what works for us. I
just know it's a lot on you.
I like having them there next to me,
and I feel guilty about it, but I feel less guilty about it than I did about how I would react before, because I'm not proud of that.
Yeah, well, good for you. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, so there are some nights where our daughter will wake up and need a diaper, and then I'll just get her back to sleep, and our son talks a lot in his sleep, so he will either say something really loud that a lot of times doesn't even make sense, and that will wake her back up, or he will sit up having a night terror and be upset and not really be awake. And I'll finally get him calmed down again. And the tail end of calming him down wakes her up again. Or she wakes up shortly after for a bottle since she's got a fresh diaper. And so that back and forth can get really hard some nights.
Yeah.
And there's definitely times where I'm just oh my God, just please fucking go to sleep.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think of that gets close to breaking me, and a lot of that is just because it's related to sleep, and exhaustion is literally a form of torture.
I could literally not understand anything more.
Yeah.
I fully understand.
And I think that was, to me, the hardest thing with having one also was just that total break in sleep.
Yeah.
And like at first it wasn't even that he was like a horrible sleeper. It was just like my postpartum anxiety.
No, it's just anxiety, period.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not downplaying postpartumness, but I didn't want you to like blame yourself for your feelings or whatever. You know what I mean? It was probably amplified,
right?
To a
because
way
I did have anxiety before that.
Yeah, but just know for a lot of people involved, especially if they also had anxiety going into the thing. Again, that's one of the reasons why I like had to remove myself, because I could not fall back to sleep.
Yeah.
For that reason, because any noise, anything, even if it was the most adorable, cute, sleepy baby noise, to my brain, it was a noise. And
yeah.
You know what it just, at the time, it wasn't good at turning that like fight or flight aspect off.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the reasons why I removed myself. Here's like just the sign of my guilt. I just need to explain myself. Because you just seem so much better at, even before kids, all the time, just falling asleep.
Yeah.
Like you were always the first one to sleep.
I can fall asleep anywhere.
And that was really, is what put me to sleep, was just holding you asleep.
Right.
You're like a cat. Like purring. I was like, oh. Yeah. So that was like a big thing, the anxiety.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't trying to downplay the.
No, I know. And so, like, at the start for me, my anxiety after having one was like, is he breathing? Okay, but is he breathing? Okay, he was, but is he breathing now?
The sock helped so much with that.
Constant until we got the outlet sock, because
not a sponsor, but
my
you could
God, that saved my sanity.
Yeah, still does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we still use it for our daughter.
When Guy was like, told us he was ready to be done with it.
Yeah.
But like, oh, okay,
okay, bud. Yeah, because I think it got to a point that it started like bugging him and keeping him up.
Yeah.
Because he did start sleeping better when we took it off, but also we did like a bunch of changes at the same time. But
again, that was one of those things where, to build on something we mentioned forever ago, like a billion words ago, listening and deciding, okay, is this something that like they can decide?
Yeah.
Or not? And it very much was, because at the end of the day, that was a very selfish thing. All that does is help us.
Right.
It does nothing to help the kids in any way, shape, or form. And it's kind of one of those things where if it ever does, it's too late. You know what I mean? Not too late, but you know what I mean?
Right.
One of those. So hopefully it never has to help the kids, I guess is what I'm saying. So that was very easy to just be like, he was just like, I don't want that tonight or no more or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, oh,
okay.
Okay, and then he never asked for it again.
And he had technically aged out of like the FDA approval period of use.
Yeah, but before he would ask for it.
Right. Yeah. Got to put your sock on.
So.
But yeah, that was, I think the hardest thing going to one is the lack of sleep, and then going to two is probably even more of a lack of sleep.
Well, I think it's maybe just that you probably see a light at the end of the tunnel at some point, and then that is just ripped further back.
Yeah. And I saw a statistic the other day that like they figured out that new moms in the first year lose approximately like 3 months worth of sleep, with how broken everything is and how you like your brain doesn't allow you to go into REM sleep. Like, and I found that super interesting about how
some mothers.
Your brain, like when you go into sleep, shuts down like 90% of activity, and in the first couple years after having a new baby, your brain only shuts down 10% of activity, so you're like on high alert to hear every time your baby cries and stuff through the night. It's wild.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I would be curious. God, I'm gonna sound like such a douche. Just like, you know, as an empathetic guy and now an empathetic father and husband to a mother with kids and whatnot. I would be curious as what's going on with my brain or brains like mine,
Yeah.
because like I relate a lot to a lot of the things you say happen to mom brains.
Right. Well, and like you went through postpartum depression, which I think we've talked about how people like forget that can happen to dad. You went through hormonal shifts because of my hormones, which not a lot of people talk about throughout pregnancy and how that can affect your partner.
Well, I think a lot of that also is just men are like afraid to say that they were affected by their wife's hormones. That doesn't sound manly.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, if you didn't marry a boss ass bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I would be mad if your hormones didn't control mine.
Right.
I'd be like, gas. Nobody syncs up with you.
Right.
Yeah, but no, everybody syncs up with you.
That's true.
Yeah. So, again, I think a lot of people are just like men are afraid to talk about that or admit it. So it's like, well, nobody's gonna help you, stupid, if you don't say anything.
Right.
And like, I can say that because I'm a man who said something.
And I honestly think that's what leads to, like, a lot of people talk about how hard having kids is on your relationship, especially in the first 2 years. And that's about how long postpartum depression can last in either person. And so, like, to me, it makes sense. Of course, it's fucking hard on your relationship, especially if you're not going to talk about what you're going through and why there's like a high rate of divorce among couples who have just had kids.
Well, yeah, and again, I think there's a lack of eagerness to talk to each other. So it looks like we're going to be talking about this one Reddit post the whole time. So while you do that, I am going to say that we're going to go to a commercial break. Can you just wait?
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
This thing fell apart.
The mic just fell into my lap.
Oh, so I hope we never part. Get it right or pay the price. We're gonna go to a commercial break because we're already like super long. I think we're like almost 40 minutes in right now or something. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about this one the whole time because I think we've still got a couple more things to chat about. So after these messages, we'll be right back. We're gonna holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, welcome to the ad break. Just real quick, if you like what you've heard or you just like Hannah or myself in general and want to support us, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Holy Shit We're Parents. Like and follow on whatever listening platform you are enjoying the podcast on. And follow us on Patreon if you would like to financially support us without feeling like you're just giving us money. Or you can just give us money there too, I think. Either way, thank you very much for listening, and here's Hannah with the ads.
This episode is brought to you by Boobie Superfoods, the real MVPs of postpartum snacks. Whether you're breastfeeding, chasing toddlers, or just need something that doesn't make you feel like garbage, Boobie's got you. Get 10% off your order at boobiesuperfoods.com/revive and thrive. That's BOOBIE superfoods.com/revive and thrive. Because your boobs and your sanity deserve nice things. Okay, moms, if you're still living in those crusty maternity leggings from 3 babies ago, it's time. Comfort sweats are basically the uniform for surviving parenthood. Soft, high quality, and somehow still cute even when covered in spit up. Go to comfort.com/Hannah66030 for 10% off your order. That's CMFRT.com/HANNAH66030. Because if you can't have peace and quiet, at least you can have comfy pants. Holy shit, we're parents.
And we're back.
All right, the last part of their question is, knowing what you know now, would you still choose to have 2 kids?
Oh yeah, I already answered that. Shit. I thought we had like 2 or 3 more things. Okay, but yeah, absolutely, always and forever, 100%. That was the one thing I always cared about
Yeah.
as far as kids went. Number 1, healthy. Number 2, 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no, like I don't care about gender, don't care about whatever. Like I'm happy with what happened. I'd be happy with whatever. Wouldn't change shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And I know we talked about waiting longer in between 2, but I'm glad that circumstances being us, forced that to happen sooner than we planned.
Man, how?
You?
I was trained. I was trained to behave the way I behaved. I will. Oh shit! I had a point, and then I had to be funny. All right, go on.
I think it was. Oh, I guess that's a hard thing. People don't talk about going from 1 to 2. If they're really close in age, like within 2 years apart, that's really hard on your body.
Oh yeah.
But you just remembered, so do you want?
Yeah. I was gonna say, as far as saying about being glad about having them when we did, especially, which is like a weird thing to say, and I don't want to like be dogging on my guy because he's my best friend, but seeing how our son is already kind of like not the biggest fan of sharing our attention, I'm kind of glad that we didn't let that solidify more.
Yeah.
And you know, we introduced him to this new way of life, which is going to be our way of life, at one of the most malleable
right. Like it's all he'll remember.
Yes, exactly. Like right now it's not, but it will be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I still think, you know, he remembers, and especially when he gets to go to my parents' house and have it be reminded. You know, he remembers what it was like.
Yeah. But I think like long term, he will not remember life without his sister.
Yes. And that's one thing I'm happy about.
Yeah. But what I was saying is like it is so much harder on your body physically and mentally having them within 2 years. And like there's a reason doctors tell you to wait to have sex, and it's not just because you're like gonna heal in 6 weeks from one pregnancy. Like that healing takes way longer than that, but like it's really fucking dangerous.
Yo, that's an episode, I think, so we could like kind of hop back into some of the like education or medical aspect about like how long does it actually take to, I'm gonna do it, quote unquote, heal.
Oh god, so long.
From a pregnancy. Yeah, because like I think, and I'm gonna say this is my opinion, and it's a super cold take. Like it's not a hot take at all. I get that. But like women are being abused with how early a lot of them are feeling forced to be sexually active again.
Yeah.
And I hope that's one thing. Like I hope you never felt that pressure. Because,
no,
like, I was always just
not
like,
at all.
I don't know what's going on.
You left that entirely up to me.
Yeah.
There was never pressure.
Okay. I'm not, yeah. Okay. Because that was like what I was trying to behave. So I'm glad that is.
And no, I've seen like with friends or like clients or women in my mom's groups that I'm in of like, my husband's really pushing hard for my 6-week appointment to hurry up, or like asking if it's okay before then. And
Jerk off, you fucking weirdo.
right. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. See,
Yeah,
that's a whole different
it
thing.
is.
Because it's like, yeah, if you're that eager, it's like, well, is your wife a person that you love, or are they a thing that you want to put your dick in?
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, one of those is really good, and one of those is you're a fucking piece of shit. So, yeah. So that's like something I would like to
Yeah.
cover in the
We
future.
definitely can. Because, yeah, like, especially if it's a situation where you're like trying, like we were, and we've talked about, I had 4 back-to-back pregnancies, 2 miscarriages, 2 full-term pregnancies. And so, like, my body was fucked. And nobody ever, like, really explained that to me. And it's still things that I'm figuring out, like,
And we're going to get into,
hormonally.
like,
and-
how, well, just because a baby doesn't come to full term doesn't mean your body doesn't react. You know what I mean? I
Right,
would like
yeah,
to cover
like-
that in that other
yeah,
episode.
like you're still postpartum after you have a miscarriage and all of that. So that's really, really hard about having more than one baby or more than one pregnancy is the physical and mental toll it takes, especially if they're close together.
Because, like, you're in order to function. Oh God, this is gonna. I hate saying some stuff because I sound like a douche, but like, just because I'm a guy saying it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, in order to function, like as a mother, I don't want to say that, but chemicals are released inside your brain to allow you to respond and react to things differently than you would not postpartum. You know what I mean?
Right.
So your body is essentially, and this is just like me from my like trainer and like body work and just like trying to look at us as like, yes, the complicated machines that we are, but at everything's base, everything is simple.
Right.
Like your body needs to run this like course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything is like cyclical, you know what I mean? That's just life, the universe, everything. And essentially a lot of times, for a lot of reasons, it can't. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, you're pregnant, whatever, you're giving birth, you know what I mean? Your body wants to go through this cycle.
Yeah.
And if it can't, people I don't think, stop and think about how that fucks with your brain
Right.
and then with your body through your brain or with your brain through your body.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe that was fucking stupid and
No,
people
it was
will understand
right.
that, like, I've been smoking this, but yeah, like, I just think if you just stop and think about stuff sometimes on a common sense level, and maybe people do and I sound like an idiot, or maybe they don't and they need to, like, shit's not that complex. So it's like don't be a fucking douchebag. Let your wife go through this cycle, you know, if possible. Maybe she'll let you have sex with her at one point and you'll accidentally forget that you're not supposed to do some things, and then like it won't be able
Disrupt
to.
the cycle.
Yeah, but then like, do your best to help with that.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then I think another thing that is hard going from 1 to 2 that a lot of people don't talk about is babies have different temperaments. And so, like, getting to know your baby and figuring out how they operate and their routines and all of that doesn't matter when you have a second baby because it's an entirely new person.
Oh, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Like,
Our kids could not be more different.
which and that's a struggle. That
Yeah.
That's one people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Ooh, take that, Reddit. No, there's probably like 150 posts about this, but yeah, of not realizing that, like, I mean, if you want to think about it in maybe ways people's brain understands, like, it's a different opponent. So you can't bring your team to the game to face this one team because they're a completely different team.
Yeah.
And if you do, well, you're probably going to lose.
Right.
Maybe you'll be successful. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, but probably not. And that's like a mindset that is important to keep. And maybe it's just dawning on me right now, the common sense nature of it, of like, yeah, why would that approach work? It's a different person. If it does, great, but that's a fluke.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the expectation needs to not be there.
Anything you learned the first time around,
Sure, try it, but
likely doesn't matter.
okay. Are we gonna hop in the comments
Yeah.
just to take a quick peek? See, or if you want, we can just run a little long.
Where are we at now?
52. We can just hop in the comments real quick.
Yeah. I think you're gonna have a lot to say about the other one I picked out, so we'll save that for another.
Oh, okay.
episode.
I thought you just saw a comment.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things we said, people reiterating, your second baby is probably going to be completely different than your first baby. Sleep is the hardest thing in the world.
Oh, this is fun now because we get to see if people are talking about all the things that
we
Justin said people aren't talking about.
We dealt with this. A baby with a sensitive stomach.
Oh,
with our daughter.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Okay, yeah.
Really hard.
Like
to,
a possible lactose deal. So, yeah, that was fun. And then led to, a lot of frustration.
Yep. And, like...
for all three of us involved. Well, four of us involved.
Right. That, like... made my postpartum depression with our second different, and I would say more severe than with our first, because there was like shit I couldn't figure out, and that was messing with my head as like you're the mom, you should know this instinctually.
Yeah.
And I guess that's another thing, going from 1 to 2, how it's going to affect you as far as postpartum depression goes.
Did we just talk about that?
I mean, we talked about, like, how it affects your healing and the back-to-back and everything, but, like, you may not have postpartum depression at all after the first baby, or you may just have postpartum anxiety, and then it can be a completely different ballpark for your brain and, like, your thinking and thought processes and all of that after a second one. Like...
Okay.
My brain spoke to me in a very different way after our second baby than our first.
Write this down.
Someone else said, I wouldn't say it's easier going from 1 to 2, but the difficulty level going from 0 to 1 and then 1 to 2 isn't as noticeable. I like that.
I will say one thing I've noticed, and I used to hate them. The Loves commercials ring pretty true.
Which one?
Do you remember those? The like you live, learn, and then you get loves. The basis of them was always the people with their first child. Everything has to be perfect. You get the expensive diapers. You do everything absolutely the way the book says. And then with number 2, it's just like, fuck it, whatever. You know what I mean? So the point was like, you live through the first one, and then you learn that you didn't need the expensive
most of it
diapers.
wasn't important. No, the diapers you need.
Yes, you did. But the point
but everything else.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, I totally feel that. And again, it's something I try to like self-monitor, which is maybe, I don't know, it leads to a lot of my stress and I need to vocalize more, but of just like letting our daughter be adventurous and trying to allow her to be as adventurous as our son, but not overly to the point where she is going to unnecessarily get hurt and potentially get turned off from doing something altogether.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing for me with anything they do is trying to allow them the like grace to walk the line of, you know, as far as they can go without or allowing them maybe to get hurt a little,
Yeah.
because that's a part of stuff, especially if they want to do what daddy does with, like, you know, weightlifting. There's discomfort involved in it, not hurt. That's not involved.
Yeah.
Discomfort. Or skateboarding, snowboarding.
Right.
There's hurt.
Yeah.
And you gotta like get up. You gotta, fuck, that sucks, but damn it, I love doing this. I gotta get back up.
Which I have a really hard time with.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe that's because it wasn't.
I never, did things that.
But as a
hurt
boy,
like that.
you know, I was exposed more to boys will be boys. You know what I mean? So, like, I hate that saying. And so I'm trying to, like, you know, kids will be kids, but I want to make sure that they don't get too hurt to where they just don't want to do something and maybe miss an opportunity for a
Right.
passion or whatever. I'll let them decide on their own they don't like it
Yeah.
instead of fear deciding for them.
And it's funny watching them because I feel like our son is cautiously adventurous. Like he's very much observing the world around him and feeling things out, but still like willing to take little risks. Where our daughter is just fearlessly adventurous and is diving in literally headfirst into a lot of things.
In, off of, onto,
Right.
you name it, head first. Being said, though, she did climb up on her son's chair and was sitting there like a sweet little princess, scooted her little butt to the edge and got down feet first. Oh, it was so cute.
Good, because when I'm home and she climbs up on our son's chair, she tries to sit on the back or the arm of the chair and then laughs as she launches herself backwards and waits for me to catch her.
Well, she's a shelter.
Told you she would.
But no, she's daddy's princess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, is there anything else you can think of to add? I feel like most of these comments are really just reiterating everything we covered.
No. I mean, probably, but no.
Okay.
No. To be honest with you, I kind of just want to record the next episode also because I want to know what this other Reddit thing is. Daddy feeling talkative.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, shit. But I won't. Anybody who listens to the podcast knows that it's
Knows
just
that you won't.
filled with, I'm going to cut this 20-minute ramble that I don't cut. But just know that I am also listening to it when I edit, and I'm just like, Justin, shut the fuck up. So, if you don't say that, thank you, and if you do, me too.
All right, well, I think it's safe to cut there. Thanks for hanging with us. Guess we did find our theme for this one.
Oh, yeah? And hopefully you'll see video clips of this on our social medias or maybe a video of it on our Patreon. I don't know. Shit. Should we have been looking at the camera or each other?
We'll figure it out.
Who knows?
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Holy
shit. We're parents.